Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad 2.0. I'm Steve, and I hope you enjoyed that new intro or lead in, so to speak. Hey, today it's time for the long awaited 3 weeks since I promised this operations video. You may recall, for those that watch the channel regularly, that we did a live first run operations on the shelf layout about 3 weeks ago. Some minor glitches with the engines. I still have not addressed those issues, so that'll be next after this operating session to start tearing some locomotives apart and getting them working better after being packed away and beat up and so forth during the move. So I promised at the end of the last operations video that I would add another train, which would be a round trip from Aurora to Chicago with the eastbound facing leads on the way to Chicago, the westbound facing leads on the way back from Chicago. So that's what we're going to do right now. And stay tuned, and we'll get right after it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is open up Panel Pro and go into operations and look at our train. All right, so let's switch the camera around. All right, and we've opened up Panel Pro. We're going to go to into Operations Pro. We're going to come down here to Trains. Slide this over here. All right, so we have the Aurora round trip to Chicago. I've built it. Now we want to preview it. Over here, and here we go. All right, now one of the things you can look at is, as we go through this, is I brought up the layout panel, and we need to hit the turn the track power on, so everything should turn from from red to green. If it is unoccupied, it'll stay red if the track is occupied. All right, there we go. And we're showing trains powered up in the engine 1 lead, engine 2 lead, the Zephyr on the east side. We have trains shown. Now, first thing is we have the train itself starting in Aurora. Now, you may remember, Aurora and Chicago are off the layout. They are actually drawers in a cabinet with rail cars in them. So we bring those on, and what I need to do is I have them on the layout, but I need to place them appropriately. So I've done some switch setting. We now have it set, ready to go. All right. So all the cars are set up and existing. We have 2 black grain hoppers. We have a rust-colored CB&Q boxcar. We have a red flat bulkhead flat car loaded. And it's got lumber load on it, and of course a caboose. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go through and see what our next stop is going to be. We have no work at REA Express. We will pick up a cement hopper at the lumber yard before going on to Chicago. And so let's go ahead and do that. round trip Aurora to Chicago has completed its switching in the Downers Grove area and is on its way to Chicago. Hang tight and we should see it return shortly. Alright, so as a review, our train left Aurora with two 50-foot black covered hoppers, both loaded, a CB&Q rust-covered 40-foot boxcar, again loaded, a flathead, a bulkhead flat, also loaded with a lumber load, and of course a caboose. It stopped and made a pickup at the Downers Grove Hines Lumberyard and picked up a empty cement hopper. Okay. And then it went on to Chicago, where it dropped the one of the two loaded grain hoppers and picked up two boxcars, an empty red CB&Q and a loaded rust-covered C&EI boxcar that was transferred over from the C&EI, Mr. John Linton's railroad. All right. And now we're on the way back. And the first thing we have to do is make a pickup at Pepperidge Farm and a set out. We have to set out the other grain hopper and then pick up the icebox reefer. All right, so with that, let's go take a look. we have the Pepperidge Farm pickup and set out done, and it is time for us to, according to our switch list, to set out a CB&Q rust colored 40-foot boxcar to the Reporter, all right, which is the printing company. So with that, let's get after that. Okay, so we have the boxcar set out at the printer, Reporter, Downers Grove Reporter. All right, now it's time to pick up the BREX Icebox Reefer and set out a GARE, which is a Coors Reefer, into the icing platform. So let's drop back and take a look at that. But we gotta let another express go by. Don't want to block the roadway though. We're gonna switch cameras over. So we have the icing now done, and it's time to go to the yard. Now, since it's yard work, we're going to bring out a yard switcher to handle those moves after we position the return Aurora Chicago into the right position. Now we need to set out the bulkhead flat, and we set it out into the front lead of the yard and pick up a TTX or Texaco tank car. Now keep in mind there has to be a buffer car between the locomotive and the tank car, and we have the GAR or cooler, or what was that? No, the Brex reefer, all right, to handle that for us. Now we just had repositioning of an SD7, normally a road engine, but it is in the Blackbird scheme, which is normally reserved for road switchers. So we're gonna power it up and utilize it today. It's a little bit out of the ordinary, but it is a new engine that's been repositioned and new to the layout. All right, and it's behind that GP7 that's sitting there in the foreground and in front of the SW1500 on the right-hand side. So let's get that fired up. And we'll get after it. But first, it looks like we have a eastbound express coming through. All right, so now we're clear on the tracks. Switches are aligned. So we've completed that train. We have one step left to do, and that will be to finish out the train and move everything in the computer, all the cars relocated within the computer itself. Now that sounds like a big task to do, but not in JMRI. So if we go back, all right, and we'll switch cameras over to this one. All right, and down underneath here, we have where we finished off. All right, and we have to relocate all the cars within JMRI. Well, we're done with this. So let's go back to the train view, which is right here. All right, and we come down here and hit terminate, come up here and hit terminate, and we get a message asking me, do we really want to do this? And the answer is, of course, yes. Right. So now all of the cars that we have moved, all those locations have been changed to where we moved them to. Okay. Anyway, it was fun. I still have work to do on that GP35, the Redbird switcher. Number 303, the Blackbird SD7 ran like a champ. It is not a sound-powered unit. Debating whether I really want to change it over. I may put a Keep Alive in it, but heck, it ran like a champ. It didn't stall once. I think I may just leave it alone. Some things are better. The one thing it does do is the lights. It doesn't have LEDs. It has incandescent light bulbs in it, and they are wired backward. It was wired as long hood forward, so I switched the motor leads to get it short hood forward because that's the way the CB&Q ran them. But even in JMRI, I could not get those lights repositioned. So I may redo the lights, put in LEDs, and get them the proper direction. But that would probably be the only thing I did to that. But we'll see. Time will tell. Like the intro, let's go ahead and watch a few clips of the Burlington Express commuter running back down the line in the eastbound direction.